All right. Well, welcome everyone, live and maybe streaming on Facebook and in the future. Well, let me just introduce myself. My name is Julie Tooten, and I am a jewelry designer. You can see in the background here some of my pieces on display. I love crystals and gold and diamonds and all kinds of gemstones. And I am also an Access Consciousness certified facilitator and have been for 17 years, I believe. And this gives me this kind of unique awareness of energies and what makes people sparkle and where we've shut off certain things in our body, in our lives, different points of view that we have that you can clear and let go of and invite your being to show up more. And it's really interesting to do that with jewelry and get a sense for what's going on in somebody's world and be able to create a piece of jewelry that when they put it on, invites their being to shine. So that's one of my fun, magical capacities that I really enjoy playing with. And part of the way that I got more access to that was through playing with this tool that I'm going to share with you today called Expanding. And I remember 17 or 18 years ago when I met Gary Douglas and I was in a class, he said that he made a demand in his world to be the space expanded of a minimum of 250,000 miles in all directions at all times. And I was like, wow, you can do that? You can actually be that? Because I felt like I was just this little person, maybe even smaller than that. And in being in class with him, we all would get this sense of more space. But then when you leave class, you'd like shrink back down to your little size again. How many of you have experienced that? You be around certain people that invite you to be more and you expand and everything gets easy and happy and sparkly in your life. And then you go around other people or you go back to your normal whatever, like a rubber band, and you contract back down. So I created these different series of expanding exercises that help you build the muscle of expanding and expanding more and expanding more. And what I noticed is the more you expand and the more you be that space all the time, all the problems that you think you have just melt away. All the things that are going on in your head just clear away. All of the possible limitations in your life, it's like all the doors start to open because you're being such a space that allows those limitations to morph and change instead of putting energy into them and making them rigid and unchangeable. So playing with the expanding exercise builds your muscle, builds your ability to be this in the world. Each one of us can be a totally different energy. We actually are all different energies, but we're probably trying to be like other people. And so we hold ourselves back from expressing the unique essence that we be. So this is an invitation for you to start accessing your unique vibration, the essence that you be, and start to allow it to be more in the world and to receive more from the world, which expands your possibilities in every area of your life and also lets the stress, the mind chatter, the problems, the issues, the drama to just go away. It becomes tiny, 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 tiny when you are this big being. And so today we're going to do an expanding exercise. And at the end of it, I'm going to invite you to a little series that I have coming up. So before we get started, I wonder if any of you have any questions or anything that is coming up for you now that I could address. And you're welcome to take yourself off of mute. Say hello. Anybody brave enough?
Hello.
Right. Yes. Hi.
Hi, I am Anna. I am Iliwara's friend.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Wonderful. Is there something that you would like to bring up for us to address and clear?
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yes. Hello, baby.
Baby. Okay.
So,
3 months?
everything here is like kind of very new to me, like not very new, but new in my life. And I'm enjoying it, and I hope, and I don't hope, I'm very sure this all of these things will change my life and my thinking and my subconscious or herself. Yes, I think.
Awesome. Is there something in particular, being a new mom or?
Well, yes, since I'm a mama, I like change so much, and it is kind of unexpected for me. Yes, I'm like different person, and even Ilwa said I am like totally changed, and I'm more happy. And before to be mom, I didn't even think about things like um, what I'm thinking. It becomes like a reality for me. And now. Iliwar said, yesterday I met Iliwar and she said, the thing I'm telling my daughter, even she is very small, very little, she understands everything, and all of these things like are somewhere in her mind, and it can change her life. Like the way I told her, it can change things in her life.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if you understand, because my English is not so good.
You're doing great. Thank you. Thank you. And for anybody else who has any kind of overwhelm with dealing with something different or something that's coming up and changing, there's so many different things that cause people stress and feel like they're overwhelmed, whether you're changing a job or somebody looks like they're transitioning to death, or somebody's moving state, country, house, whatever, having a new child, creating a new business. There's like, oh my gosh, everything that I just spoke about, there's all this energy, like, oh, do you feel the heaviness of that?
Yeah,
And
my life. Sorry.
yeah, well, what happens is we tend to like perceive all of that and then get small, thinking that we need to try to figure out how to get through it, instead of expanding and knowing what choices will create the life we'd like to be living. With the space comes greater awareness, greater ease, greater joy, greater possibilities. I know it sounds terrible. And it's so, so easy that nobody really wants to do it. Did you have something else you wanted to ask?
No, I just wanted to say like now in my life is like new business, a new baby, and new me, and all these things are kind of very new for me, but it gives me energy, and especially Iliwara gives me everything. Yes, yeah, that's all.
Okay. Awesome.
Julie, may I add something here?
Yes.
Can you clear something on judgment, like receiving the judgment and the space you're living, especially if you live in a share house and you don't get very well along, even if you're in your own house, only that you make a choice to receive somebody and like now the space is contracting and everything?
Yes. Well,
Thank you.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And the first thing that you need to ask yourself is it yours? The contraction, is it yours? Or is it your awareness of their world? Because most of the time it is an awareness of their world. And if you think it's yours and you think you're contracted and you keep trying to expand, but it doesn't work, it's because it's not actually yours. You're already spacious. Sure, we can become more spacious. But if you're misidentifying the awareness as yours when it's not, it messes things up a bit. So just simply acknowledging that shifts it. And then what I continually do is ask myself, what is my reality? And what is their reality? What is my reality? And I go back and forth a few times. Then you get this sense of, their reality is a certain thing and your reality is like this other thing. And sometimes you can even ask, what is Gary Douglas, founder of Access Reality, which is like, and so you can start to expand your space based on the awareness of tapping into different people's realities that are greater than yours. It's like playing tennis with somebody who's better than you. You expand your ability. But for the most part, we are out in the world with people who have tiny, 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 limited, troublesome realities. And we're like, oh, is this how you're supposed to do it? And so we're matching them. We're getting better at this reality instead of what is our reality? What kind of space can we occupy? What can we be beyond this reality? And notice how when I ask those questions, how your head gets much lighter. And it opens up something that you can't really define. That's the space of being. And in that, you don't think, you don't feel, you don't do emotions. You are perceiving, knowing, receiving, and being. It's a completely different possibility. Does that help? Cool. So when we play with these expanding exercises, we are exercising our perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. And then the thoughts, feelings, and emotions just kind of drift away. So you don't have to fight to let go of them. They just disappear. Problems disappear. And literally, it is just a choice. So I could say, expand out 100,000 miles in all directions, and you guys would all do it. But I will take it slowly, step by step, for those of you who think that you need baby steps. So just sit back and relax. If you like, you can close your eyes, although it's not necessary. And just get a sense for your body, how it is right now. Are there any aches and pains? Are you relaxed? Do you have a lot of thoughts going on in your head? What's happening? And just acknowledge, okay, That's what's going on. You can also feel your feet on the ground, put your hands on your lap. Just say, hello, body. When we expand out beyond our bodies get to relax more because we're being this big, like, buffer to all of the awareness that it picks up and is giving us. So it's a really nice thing to do for you, for your body. So now expand out your awareness beyond your body, filling the whole space of the room that you're in, up to the ceiling, down to the floor, all four corners. Especially noticing behind you. And my body always gives me a nice, big, relaxing breath when I do this. Notice what your body does. It might be different. And now expand beyond the walls and the floor and the ceiling, creating a big bubble, 10 miles in all directions, or kilometers, however you measure. And there's no measuring necessary. It's just boop, there we are. And go further and further and further. Deep into the earth, up into the sky, the atmosphere, to the stars and the other planets, encompassing this entire planet and your body and the universe. There's no doing, it's just a choice that we can be. And notice how quiet your head is right now. And notice the relaxation in your body. When you choose to be this space, walking through the world, you change every single person you come into contact with, whether or not you say anything. This is a palpable, energetic, spacious invitation to possibility. It helps remove barriers. It helps create greater connections. And from this space, you can invite in energies. You can create energy pulls that we do in Access to connect with people, audiences, beings, money, whatever it is, from this space. And you can also contribute to people, bodies, animals, plants, the earth, the universe from this space. And it's exponentially greater than doing it from when you're being your normal size, normal limited reality. Do you feel the difference right now, just sitting here? It's like, wow. And it's so easy. It just like that. It's easier when we do it in a group. It's kind of like when you go to a group exercise class, you surf the energy of all the people contributing toward whatever it is that you're creating. So in this group, you'll perceive the space a lot easier than on your own at first. And actually, it doesn't even matter if you perceive it or not. It just may seem easier to you until you've built the muscle. And even though I've been playing with these exercises for years, and I have a group that I do once a week, there are still times when I'm on my own and I'm trying to expand and I am like not getting anywhere. So it's very helpful to be able to engage with other people and choose this together. So this is one of the reasons why I created a group called Expand Your Sparkle. It's a very small, intimate group. We do one Zoom a month, and I do a bunch of Facebook Lives. And starting next week, I'm going to be doing a daily expanding exercise. So it's in Facebook. So whatever time zone, you can always get the replay instantly. And so this is the invitation. You have until the 20th, I think, if you'd like to join. There's country pricing. I think it's only $48 US. So it goes down from there in other currencies. But we'll be doing expanding every day for 7 days. And then on the 8th day, we'll do a 1-hour Zoom where we can look at and clear anything that's coming up or anything that you'd like to create. We can pull in the creation of it and have the energy of the group and everybody having your back throughout the month. So it is a monthly membership, but you can cancel at any time. And I just thought it would be fun to invite in some more people and new energy. Oh, thank you for putting the link in the chat. Yeah. So what would it be like for each one of you to choose to be this space and to sparkle more and to find out what else is really possible for you? Who you have come here to be in a gentle, nurturing, contributory space. This is my invitation. Whatever you choose, I hope it brings you joy. Does anybody have any questions? No? Is there something in the chat? I haven't looked. Sorry. Oh, no, just that. Okay. Continue to be this space as long as you can.
Thank you, Julie, for everything. And I guess we can do this every day, right?
Yep, you can do it every day. And I encourage you over the next few days to just play with it on your own and see if you notice a difference. There are many times when I do yoga online with a group and then I do yoga by myself. And I notice that when I do it by myself, I'll do a few minutes and I'll do shorter and shorter and shorter. And I'm like, whatever. But when there's a group, I show up greater and I get more out of it.
Yeah, and you do it for the people, for the energy that is there. By yourself is so and so.
Sometimes that's one of the things about this reality. It's made it more challenging to be totally present with yourself. You know, it's like meditation. But when we practice this as a group, we become a walking, talking meditation, and you're building the muscle together so that you can be it on your own.
Can I say my experience with this series?
Sure.
Yeah, Julie have done this series a few times now, right, Julie? There was in the beginning of the year. And before I participated, I used to expand it and doesn't perceive much, doesn't change much. But doing this exercise every day, it's something that will change your life. And it's so much easier for so many things, even for when you are going to do the tools, like simple tool, like an IPOV. If you expand first and lower your barriers, and then you start to use the tools for everything you are feeling, it's such a different space that things goes poof. But I really recommend to do this together for a while. It's different. It's totally different. And I have no words to thank you, Judy, for
Thank
this.
you. I'm so glad that it's working for you. It seems to work for everybody, but I don't know, maybe you guys can prove me wrong. Try it out for yourself and see what happens. So we begin on the 20th through the 26th, expanding every day, probably around this time of day. And then the following day, there'll be a 1-hour Zoom so we can chat together and clear stuff. And it's just an awesome group. I love it. And I'd love to have more of you in it. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. And
Thank you for
maybe
having
I'll
us.
see you again.
I also wanted to thank you. It's the first time that I'm joining this kind of group. It was very interesting, and we'll see how it goes for me.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. Bye.
Bye-bye.